Hey guys, Adam Feldfogel with ACFL.net here, and I want to tell you today about one of our new sponsors. It's SSP Nutrition, Speed, Strength, and Performance. Now there are a lot of other supplement companies out there, and they promise you a lot of things, but SSP keeps its promise, and here is what it is. It is not an in-between workout. It's a before, a during, and an after workout. Supplements of protein and creatine to help you feel better and get to your goals. You can mix that during workout with whatever your favorite workout drink is, whether it's be water or fruit juice or Gatorade or Powerade, whatever it may be. You're going to get to your goal quicker, whether that's a better golf shot, better baseball swing, working out more, or just physically feeling better. So check out the website. It's here over my shoulder. It's sspnutrition.com. And if you use the promo code ACFL, they'll give you 20% off on your next purchase. Check these guys out. They really know what they're doing, and it's a really good supplement. Take care, guys.
You immediately come off the block and read Earl going to the outside. Did you know at that point, did you have a feeling that Wiley was looking for Earl? Can we give this box to Jim Flanagan?
You can give me your
Because he's a little on the flabby side right now. He needs to tighten up a little bit.
ripping him apart.
Why do you think we have this desk so high?
My team has been foaming at the mouth. I mean, we want to play them. If it was up to us, we would play the Wildcats and Warriors every week. We don't care. We want to beat them every time, and I don't want to hear his mouth.
I'll tell you one thing. There's not one person in the ACFL that can stop me. Not one person on defense.
All right, I'm Joey B, bringing you this week's segment of This Week in the ACFL, and tonight we are joined by the, as I've called you guys in the past, the Rodney Dangerfields of Flag Beat Football, the Wildcats. I'll let them introduce themselves to you, starting here to my right.
Jimmy, Wildcats.
Position, Jim?
Cornerback and tight end.
Luigi.
Luigi, quarterback, Wildcats.
Matt, wide receiver, Wildcats.
All right, so we have basically what I'd like to call, I know that you wish Jack could have been here tonight, but a big part of the core of the Wildcats. Am I right on that, Jim?
Yep.
Let's get right to it, guys. Let's get right to it. All the nonsense that's been going on between the Express and the Warriors and yada, 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 and you guys are kind of flying under the radar. Does that tick you off, or do you like that spot?
No, I love it. Yes, we have way too much attention already, so whenever we fly under the radar, it's good.
I don't think that's the case. I mean, it's my first season with these guys. I know these guys from some past seasons. I think they just, they know us. You can tell the Warriors absolutely knew us last week. They were ready to come to play. Obviously, you heard Hollywood last week. He knows the Wildcats from past experience. Some of the guys played with him in the wintertime. I don't think we're on the radar. It's just that we don't do it. I try to keep these guys off the message board and away from the chatter.
Well, I mean, I got to ask you guys, though, why? I mean, I get flying under the radar, and I get the concept of trying to be quiet a little bit when there are a couple of teams making so much more noise. But at the same time, if they're talking about you or they're talking about trying to beat you or whatnot, why not get involved in that?
Well, because past years, especially the years when, there were a couple of seasons when the Wildcats did go 8-0. I think we had 2 years. There were years when we went 7-1. There's multiple years when we went, first place in our division and conference and everything. And all everybody did was just have that little red dot on us at all times. And you know what? We've been there, we've done that.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
we're good right now.
We're not shying away from the message board. I mean, Jimmy does a good job of that. Craig does a good job of that as well. We're just trying to keep it, on the wraps.
But even on the message board, Jimmy, you look like a third wheel. I'm sorry.
I know.
Because Sean and Hollywood, I mean, forget it. These guys, they don't stop. When do they sleep? Because I look at some of these postings, 2 a.m. In the morning. They're up.
Hollywood's up in the morning taking the bus to the city every morning doing his dirty. He texts me sometimes at 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
All right, well, I don't want to talk about them. I want to talk about you guys.
Trust me.
Okay, so right now you're 5-2. You drew a team for your last game. They're a team similar to you. You guys, your style is more finesse than power, am I right?
Right. Yeah, I mean,
Depending.
yeah, I mean,
Depending on the
normally, seasons past, just like this one, we depend a lot on our skill guys.
Okay.
That's what we kind of live, that's our bread and butter a lot of the time, so.
But you guys don't run the football a lot, right?
We don't.
I mean, you don't,
We'll throw it in every now
you're
and
back there, you're back there on an island most of the time.
Most of the time,
Yeah.
but we'll throw in. Angelo wasn't at the Warrior game last week, so you didn't get to see him. He's one of our running backs. We go back there. Jimmy sometimes. Jack will come in the back. We'll mix it up when need be. We
Those
just felt like we didn't
Plush.
need to last week.
Yeah, Plush back
Plush,
there.
yeah, Plush can do it all,
sometimes,
so.
yeah, Plush back there. And Plush wasn't there for that Warriors game either.
When you don't run the ball that much, does that put a higher emphasis on play action at that point? Because if, on the slight chance when it looks like you are going to make the run, are you guys trying to deke it out that way? Because it comes at such a premium when you guys actually do run the ball?
Me personally at the helm, I just think we're a matchup problem for anyone. I mean, as you saw, Jack, our tight end, had I think 10 catches last week.
Yeah,
I think
big
Joe
game.
pointed it out.
Yeah, a big game.
Jimmy had a couple catches. Matt had a couple catches. Obviously, Chris had a beast of the game. Plush wasn't there. Brian comes in off the bench. Angelo comes in. It's just a matchup issue. We just do quick hits. Let the athleticism just play for itself out there.
I was very impressed with your
We also,
defense.
we also saw more speed from Luigi. We saw Luigi.
Yeah, we saw Luigi on the go, we got that nice big run, that dancing run, Luigi.
Why do you need a running back?
Luigi the
Right.
dancing bear, what it seemed like. But I was very impressed with your defense last week. Outside of the tip pass that Robbie Lane caught for a touchdown, and the one that was called back, I want to thank you, Luigi, by the way, for letting the refs know what the call should have been, or if they made the right one. But at any rate, it was a call, it was made, the touchdown was called back. So outside of that tip pass, you guys would have pitched a shutout last
Would have been
week.
the third one of the year, too.
Now, that's another interesting point. Now, you've lost 2 games. You lost to the Express by 3. Who was your other loss to?
We lost to the
Warheads.
Warheads. Who are, to us,
Who are the underrated?
to us,
They're super underrated. They were
that's
good.
our matchup nightmare because they have a dominant defensive line to the point where if we don't keep somebody, if we don't take one of our weapons away from going out and running routes and running the ball, whatever, we got to have him back blocking. And like I said, that defensive line they got, it causes problems for us.
What was the score of that game? Do you recall what the score of that game was?
Well, we were actually winning the game 7-6 till maybe 12 minutes left in the game. They ended up scoring a touchdown, and then I think we were up 5. We were trying to make something happen at the end of the game, and they ended up getting the ball back and scoring again. So we ended up losing by 12 or 13.
So it was a meaningless touchdown at that point.
Yeah, but hey, props to them. They brought it to us
They're a
that
tough
day.
team.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I gave them props. They actually reminded me of my old school HOB team. That D-line had 3 guys who came strong,
Yeah, they were
came
good.
at every
Very
play,
good.
and able to get pressure on me.
Let's go back to last week against the Warriors for you guys, because that field was a mess.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
horrible.
it was a mud bowl
Yeah.
at its finest. Especially for you, Luigi. What's it like when you're taking snaps with chunks of mud coming at you and the ball is coming, it's soaking wet? I saw you even ask for towels during the game to dry it off. What do you have to do in a game like that? I mean, it's obviously just as tough for the other team, but for you personally, what are you doing to try to kind of circumvent that a little bit and make sure that you can put your team in a position to win the game?
We had 2 balls that, at least early on, we were trying to rotate in, and then Salvo, our center, felt a little more comfortable with the second ball, the ladder ball, and we just had plenty of towels. If you saw from the video, I had some towels and I had shirts. Jimmy brought some, I had brought some, and we just tried to keep the ball as dry as possible.
Now, we had, Matt, was that you? That was you now, Matt. I went one
was.
play when you went splash down on the infield.
It's in hard, yeah.
Was that catch worth it? I mean, no, remember what I said, Matt, when you got up? Were you thinking about, now I gotta get in my car in a little while and drive
Yeah,
my
of course that's what I was thinking. I actually blew out my ears.
We had a lot of fun with that call.
I thought I was in the end zone for a second, so I thought for sure it would have been worth it. And I don't think we ended up scoring on that drive.
To drop down at the 5 into that kind of puddle, it just...
Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought
I don't mean to laugh, Matt, but it was
every
fun.
time.
that kind of stuff always happens to me.
I got a chuckle because I didn't see it. If you saw the play, I was getting pressured and I just threw it.
Well, that's why we got the video. We can take it away.
1, 2, 3,
That's right, yeah, it was.
At least
You
he
can
actually
actually put sound effects to that and literally just...
At least he did get the catch, because I think Jack came off as well. He tried to dive and catch, but he dropped it. He didn't get the catch. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came off
It was tough. The conditions that day were just ridiculous.
Well, I liked your offensive game plan though, Luigi. You were throwing a lot of quick darts.
Yeah, it's what we
Well,
needed.
let the guys, give the guys a chance to make a play, and you made enough plays to end up winning the game.
And I think I said something about it during the broadcast, where in a game like that, the short pass is kind of the way to go, because you have a heck of a lot more control over the ball, and the receiver has a heck of a lot more control over himself. Because, I mean, you're out of position so many times when you're slipping all over the field, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
guys, how's your health right now? How's the team? You got one game left against team. How's the health on the team right now? Is everybody injury free? Is everybody in shape? You knew that was coming.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, that's not a good way to start it, though.
Injury-wise, we're okay. We actually had an incident the other day where our center a couple of days ago broke his ankle. So done. So we're gonna try to figure out what we're gonna do.
No, we have somebody.
We got somebody in mind actually, that we're gonna, actually did something for us in the past and can hold his own. So we're gonna see where it goes from there. And
You got your Lyle Overbay.
it's a lot overpaid, but it also might take away from our offense though, which kind of might hurt us.
Luigi, now you're used to the center that you've had Salvo all year. I mean, there comes a new cadence, there's a new center. Come on, I want the ball here, not down here.
This is
Forget about dealing with more than rain, you know? Now you
Now
gotta
you gotta
deal
deal with a new center.
That's personnel, that's...
This is what I was greeted with when I walked in here today, by the way.
Yeah.
He said, I got bad news for you, and he broke the news to me.
But Luigi, now, 3 years, and I know you for a few years, right? And we have a lot of fun together, we chat on the sidelines. For the most part, I knew that you liked to play quarterback, you like to fill in, you were on a couple of, was it 6-on-6 flag or touch teams?
Oh.
You quarterbacked for JT's team, as a matter of fact. his
Slugs.
old team, right?
Yeah,
Slugs, right?
Yep.
But you're a tremendous wide receiver also.
Forgot
Wide
my
receiver
Wolfie
tight
team
end.
from back in the day.
Wolfie
Gotta
team,
give
yeah.
Wolfie some props.
That's right, Wolfie. Guy catches the ball the way, I swear to God, he catches it. You know who we're talking about, right, Wolfie?
Oh.
This guy's a guy that, I don't know, he swears he's the greatest card player on the planet. No matter where you throw him the ball, what angle, if he's laying on the ground, he catches it the same way all the time. He grabs the ball with his hands and slams it against his chest.
So who the chicken?
They call him the
He's
chicken,
on
that's
there,
right.
6-on-6 all
But I
the
tell you,
time.
he's a nice guy, he likes to chatter a lot, but to get it back to you, now you were a pretty good tight end, receiver in your day. What do you prefer?
Well, as I'm getting older and the knee's not holding up, I prefer quarterback. I still, like I tell my boys, I still got a little left in the tank. I just choose not to run. When I have to, I will, just like last week. When I had to, I do. It's just a matter of me just staying healthy. As you get older, you get more experience, and you realize, keep some in the tank.
Let me ask you this. Now, I started the show by saying these guys are flying under the radar, right? You hear talk about a guy who I still think has the greatest name in the league, Jabu Lovelace. You hear, that's the greatest name in the league. Come on, are you kidding me? I love doing play-by-play. Jabu drops back to pass. It's great. But you've got Hollywood. The other quarterbacks they talk about on some of the other teams.
Jeff Laguna.
Jeff Laguna. Nobody talks about Luigi. Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, I think you would have changed your name to Oh Yeah Luigi. Because, no really, you got a lot
Did
of...
they have that discussion, who's the best flag B quarterback?
But no, with Luigi, no, I'm being serious.
I don't think
People
that's
talk
what-
about the quarterbacks and someone mentions your team and they go, oh yeah, Luigi.
Hold on a
It's
second.
almost like part of your name.
You guys are 5-2, right?
Yeah.
Don't talk about him. It's not going to stop them from winning
Don't
games.
Yeah.
Or talk about them because they're winning games. I mean, that's
Well,
the honest to God
To
truth.
be honest with you guys, there's a reason for the last, since we've been a flag team, it's always been either one of my brothers, my brother Tommy or my brother Nicky. Either one of them started quarterback for us. My brother Nicky last year led us to the conference championship. We ended up losing to the Dirty Birds. A couple years before that, he did it. My other brother Tommy led us to a championship in flag. The reason why we came out and got Luigi is because we played with him in a couple of tournaments. When we were a touch team, we always played him when he was with the Slugs. So we always remember him. And, like I said, there's a reason why I went out and got him. A bunch of us, we'll be the first ones to admit it. We got a little bit over our heads in that Dirty Birds game. We all just had the raw mentality after the game. None of us really gave a crap about the game. So we took the season off. All of us missed it a lot. And we did. We went out. We got a proven leader.
Well, and came back.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's not really a dead horse because it just happened. But you had mentioned your center broke his ankle. Is it similar, instead of bringing in a new quarterback, bringing in new personnel this late in the season? You guys have all gotten comfortable with the guys who you have out on the field at any given time, offense or defense. to bring somebody in a pressure situation when the whole game is really a pressure situation for you guys because it's the last game of the season. You want a little momentum going into the playoffs. You're coming off the Mud Bowl last week. You know, what's the danger in that? Are you guys afraid of that at all, bringing in somebody new who is a pretty integral part of the offense?
No,
Especially for Luigi.
I'm not, personally, just because I know
Luigi's
this person.
taking the snap, though.
No, I know that, but I also know that there's been other quarterbacks that have played, and we've had to do this before, and it's never been a problem. This kid he's been snapping the ball for years, ever since he's been in high school. It's a second nature thing. Whenever we need him to do it, he does it, and he does a really good job.
No, that's confident. You gotta have confidence, and that sounds good. Luigi, to play with the Wildcats, you had to give up a team, because I know you play on multiple teams. Who did you give up this season to become the quarterback here?
Well, actually, I quit playing Flag A because, quite frankly, 39 years old, and I said enough's enough. I can't play when I'm 40, even though obviously I have opportunity to play with the All-Stars and still my HOB comrades out there. I just figured it was too much for me. So I started playing touch and 6-on-6 with the All-Stars. I'm still playing 6-on-6 with the All-Stars.
You thought, okay, you're not Tano, obviously.
Yes, Tano, obviously. And right now it's just Flag B and the All-Stars 6-on-6.
Great.
I just want to ask you guys a question, because right when we kind of started taping, you had mentioned that in years past you guys were 8-0, you guys were 7-1. You guys are sitting at 5-2 right now, but the Express is sitting at 7-0. Last week we had them here, and they were basically they were saying things left and right about how if it's 8-0, great. If it's 7-1, it's a failed season. How did you guys approach that final game of the season, knowing this is a big game? Did 8-0 mean that much to you? Did 7-1 like denigrate almost? Did it really put it down?
Personally, between me and this kid right now,
Yeah.
listen, he is my cousin. He's one of my best friends. We're all related. A lot of us are friends, brothers. We all say the same exact thing. That undefeated season scares the crap out of us. We always say it. Listen, Hollywood might come on. Listen, I know Alphonse. He talks a big game. All right, I played with him last year in the winter. So, you know, 8-0. I'm sure if they think that he thinks that they're that good that they lose one game, the season's failed. That's fine. We go 6-2 right now. We consider that a great season because you know what? Throughout the way, yeah, you have slip-ups. That's how it is.
For me personally, it's whenever we've gone undefeated, I think two seasons. I think at least 2 seasons, but every time it's it just doesn't feel right in the playoffs. I mean, with our team, I feel like we need once in a while to get refocused on what's going on.
Wake up call, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Reality
So
check.
we could get very confident very fast, and when that happens, sometimes we think we're just going to show up.
And I
All we need to do is show up. and
That
win.
Thunderous game was our wake-up call. Because I'll be the first one to admit it, that first drive on defense that we had in that game was the ugliest drive I've ever seen by a defense in our whole time. You guys were talking about how well our defense played against the Warriors. That was the worst drive I've ever seen our defense play, ever. And that's just, we just came out.
I knew we were going to beat the Warriors just because we lost to the Warheads the week before. I knew we were going to just come out and somehow win that game.
That strangely makes a lot of sense, because sometimes the best winners are the ones who lose a couple of games
Yeah,
somewhere
absolutely.
along the line,
Right.
because it reaffirms where you're supposed to be going. It gives you that reality check that you
Yeah.
need. But how hard is it? You guys said you're going for 6-2. That's a great season. It's not we feel that's great. That is a great season.
Yeah, yeah.
7-1 is a phenomenal season. 8-0 is off the charts.
Yeah, it's great.
How hard is it to pull off a season of that magnitude?
It's tough in the flag season just because there's so many teams. I'll give props. Listen, I'm not gonna make any excuses for that game that we played against the Express. Luigi wasn't there, so what? Alphonse says their whole entire team wasn't there. Plush had to play quarterback for us. Whatever, no excuses. They beat us by a field goal in overtime. To me, that just shows how absolutely close we are. And if I got their full line and we got our quarterback and we got full strength, that's great. We come into the playoffs, we automatically think right now, we play the Warriors, we think that we're going to beat them more than we beat them last week. We beat them 12-7. In our opinion, we should have beat them at least by 2 or 3 scores.
Okay, now I'm going to play a little devil's advocate. And I'm going to ask Mountain Man, by the way, Jim Flanagan. Once again, the dapper Jim Flanagan, as you can see, the razor wasn't working today.
Memorial Weekend, Joe.
It
Was raining?
It actually looks like you were barbecuing, pal. You know, but I want to ask you this.
SSP.
SSP, but we'll get to that in a little while. All right, I want to ask you guys, and I bring you in on this. Now, you guys have mentioned, you've used the word focused a few times, okay? So, from where I'm sitting, it sounds like, okay, we gotta stay focused. Are we gonna be focused? Are you guys having any trouble with your focus this season? I mean, you come out and you say, well, I knew we were gonna beat the Express because the Warheads beat us. Was the focus there for the Warheads, or was the Warheads game kind of one that you took for granted?
No, that's just the feel of how our team has been ever since we made it. You know, I mean.
Well, but you didn't answer my question. My question is,
Yeah.
do you guys have trouble focusing on specific opponents? You said we knew we were going to beat the Warriors, but how did you feel before the Warhead game? Were you a little, and I'll say it, were you guys a little cocky about that game? Were you a little cocky about that
No,
game?
exactly how I said before. It's that if we get on a roll, sometimes with our team, when we get on a roll, we win 3 straight, 4 straight. Sometimes we'll show up to games and feel like all we gotta do is show up.
Well, that's focus. So
Right.
you
and we're
so
gonna win the game.
A little bit.
so your focus was a little off for that
Yeah,
game.
a little bit.
We
Right.
had-
Or is the Wildcats and Warriors rivalry that big? I mean, I know-
Well, once we lost the Warheads game and then knew we had the Warriors, we were like, all right, well, we have to win this game.
What
no
has
matter
made
what.
the Wildcats and Warriors that big rivalry that today? Like, you know, I mean, Sean was out there always talking about, you know, when he knows he's playing you guys, you know, it's a big thing.
Well,
you know?
the thing about us, I mean, personally, you know, well chronicled, we've had our incidents on the field with them. I'm sure it's got a little bit of it going on. I'm sure that gets the pot stirred every time. And look, to us, they're one of the best teams in Flag B. We're one of the best teams in Flag B. We have no problem saying it about either of us. They're good, we're good.
No, the record
So
shows
listen,
that.
just like the Express, if the Express were around for longer, you know, Alphonse has only had his team in the league for a couple of years, and they're already good. And they're already good. So you know what? If they've been in the league for longer, you know, we've only played the Express one time. That's it. That's only the first time we're playing them.
I gotta go back to last week real quick again because, you know, we keep talking about having that reality check moment. And I get that the weather was a little off last week, and I'm sure that that screwed things up for both teams. But you guys scored 12 points in the first half, held them scoreless in the first half, and then they started creeping back in the second half. They got their touchdown, kicked the field goal, or passed the extra point. Did anything creep into your minds towards the latter part of that game? Because they had a drive where they got close. I believe it was the last drive of the game. Does it creep into your heads at all? Like, we're losing grip of this game. And I don't mean figuratively, literally of the ball, but figuratively of, we had a 12-0 lead in this game, and there it goes. Now it's a 5-point lead, and they're driving to take the lead and win the game.
Basically, you guys felt like you were losing control of the game.
Well, did you feel like you
all
were
honesty,
losing?
from, I guess being a veteran, if you want to call it, I think the biggest issue we had, which you didn't see, was the altercation. I think my job was to make sure that we stayed focused. I think we lost some of that focus.
Well,
I think that was the biggest problem.
Well,
You saw that in the
the
second
thing
We
about,
drive a lot though.
We
We
drove
scored
on them
2
up and down.
touchdowns, but we got within the 10.
well, you got a lot, you gained a lot of
4 or 5.
yards.
Absolutely.
Like that last
believe it.
drive, that last drive we had was a key drive. We started all the way back. I think what was it, like the 5-yard line? And even though we didn't score to kind of, you know, ice the game,
Well,
we took up pretty much the whole clock.
Yeah,
and
you
got
know,
them down
then
to
they-
all their
like
timeouts and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, again, you played a great game. I mean, we're gonna show you you're not gonna see it here, fans are gonna see it. The 2 picks that you threw, one of them,
One of them's my fault.
That was the one
He doesn't want to see those.
that's the one that
That's
hit,
my
it's
fault.
He
okay.
makes more for
That
me
was the
than
one
he
that
drops.
hit you right in the
Yeah.
chest, and that had to be
It's
the
on
ball,
me.
right? The ball, you just went to grab the ball.
I turned around, it was there, thought I had it, and I was up in the air. I mean,
But
it happens.
the other one, the one that was picked, did your receiver, I don't know who the receiver
No,
was
it
on
was
that
Jack.
play?
It
It
was
was Jack, did he not come back for the ball, or
Nah,
did he break the pattern off too soon or too late?
No, and they were doubling Chris all day after the first 2 touchdowns. So essentially, I would have checked off and hit him on that slant, and he was open. And your video showed me that. And I was telling these guys, like, I guarantee
I
you
got
he
the
was
text
open on a
message a
slant.
couple
And I
days
texted Jimmy.
later.
He's like, I knew I had Chris on the slant, but it was second
Because they
before
let go. They
halftime.
let- Breeze let go.
DB made a great play, and I read him late. So
Yeah.
I tried, and I didn't get enough on the ball because it slipped. I couldn't throw it on the outside shoulder to the sideline. So Breeze made a good play.
Well, no, but
Not my
you know,
asshole.
I'm not trying to say that you threw 2 picks that were awful balls. I mean, one, Matt admitted guilt there, and it
That's
bounced off
on
the
me.
chest.
Every ball coming to me.
Well, I mean, it's very
No,
nice of
that
you
was
to
a-
take the heat there, but,
Bottom line is, you won the game.
It's good to have a
And
quarterback
he makes more plays for me than against, that's for
Well,
sure.
Luigi, my question is,
Yeah, I'm leaving the
how
team
did a veteran Italian get mixed up with a bunch of Irish guys?
We're not, whoa,
I didn't know that.
Irish guys, we're a bunch of, we got a lot of
Oh, wait a
shots.
minute.
I'm gonna back up here for.
We got the Jewish guy here, right here, and I'm still trying to figure out the flag.
I thought they were all paisans.
No, we are.
Bunch of Italian
Yeah, a
guys.
bunch of
I got a
Italians.
question. Do you guys get offended when guys come on the boards go like call you guys a bunch of
No.
B-heads or Jews?
You don't
No,
understand.
that's how we
Since-
know everything
no,
we're doing is working.
You know what? Since we've been in this league, when we were a touch team, we were always known as the juice heads and dudes coming up to us going, take that steroid needle out of your. And I'm like, come on, man. Hey, we've been dealing with it since day one to the point where it went away a little bit. And now everybody's jumping back on, especially with Hollywood now on here. Everybody's putting up the videos of all the Guidos going down the shore.
Listen, what we gotta get here,
We
Joe?
definitely have
We got a bench press here. I'm gonna get Plush, Keneally, maybe Jamie. Who bench presses?
I'll tell you what, you know,
Jamie's a
funny,
monster right now.
because
so.
I want to bring up Plesh. I mean, I've known Plesh a few years, got a quick fuse.
Yeah.
Very quick fuse. But I'll tell you, the guy's a beast on every play. He never gives up on a play. I mean, you basically have to knock him down and stand on his chest to keep him out of a play. He's a major factor for you guys defensively, isn't he?
Well, offensively and defensively.
Where do you like him more?
all over the field.
Don't ask me. You know
Since
that answer.
maybe we made the switch, I mean,
Wherever we can put it.
Ant's been, like, everybody that doesn't know, it wasn't like we just went and scooped up Ant. Ant's been my best friend and all my brother's best friends since we were all in close, since we were in the 5th, 6th grade. So we've known Ant forever, and when Ant finally started playing with us, you know, like you said, he's got the reputation for the high stiff arms and this and that, but you know what? What he does sometimes, and over the last couple of seasons, he's gotten a lot better with it. And I tell him, I go, dude, use your athleticism like he does. And when he does that,
he's definitely
you know, he can do
great
things,
athlete.
especially when we made the move from him playing safety or corner to linebacker now, he changes the game playing linebacker because of how good he is. Really, he's probably the best flag puller in flag B.
Well, I'll tell you, I've repped a few of the games that he's been in, and it's amazing. And before the game, I know he'll come up to me, shake hands, Joe, how's everything going?
Oh,
The minute the whistle blows,
yeah. Oh, it's done.
I'm a stranger.
So he's buttering you up to yell at you?
Well, no,
That's all it is.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much it. Because I played against Ant with the HOB Kane rivalry and even the All-Stars and the, I don't know if he was the Canes, but it was the winter team. I know he was on with Wally and the guys.
Mhm.
And he plays tough. I mean,
He's a
when the
hard
whistle
player.
goes, you know, it's you against him, and it's going to be you. You know, it's kind of the mentality everybody has to have. But after the game, nicest guy.
He knows. He thinks that the best part about Ant, I personally think, is he thinks that he's better than everybody else, which makes him better than a lot of people. That's what I say.
Guys, as we
mentality.
get ready to wrap this up, one game left heading into the playoffs. What's your biggest concern going in right now, aside from the fact that your center broke his ankle, which obviously you can't say aside because it's a big factor, but for each of you guys, it might not be collectively. What are each of you most concerned about heading into both the last game of the season and the start of the playoffs?
Well, personally, I think that our game with Team this weekend, especially because when we played them at the beginning of the season, we beat them, 28-0 or something. I don't think they had their quarterback that game, and since then, they played a great game with the Express, and they won 3 in a row. So we're looking forward to playing a good game with them, because we know it's not just going to be a walkover. So we're looking to use that as a stepping stone to get into the playoffs. And regardless, whoever we play in the first game, yeah, we should beat them, so we beat them. Then we're either going to play someone like the Warheads or the Warriors in the next game. We take on them, and then it's exactly what we wanted from the beginning of the year when we lost that game to the Express. We want them. Alphonse wants us. That's it.
Well, you'll be playing, if you do win and lock down the 2 seed at 6 and 2. And by the way, I've done a couple of the team games.
We actually might be down there
They're pretty
this
fast. They're pretty fast.
No, I was saying, I wrote on the message board, I think that all 3 of those games at that field this week are good.
We actually might get that game because team. I mean, you guys played them early. I think it was like 27-0. But ever since that game, they did step up. They beat the Warriors. They lost to Express
did.
maybe by 8. They beat the Warheads, a team that you guys lost to. And now coming in here, I think it's gonna be a lot different game than that 27-0.
Absolutely, I agree.
I don't. my whole standpoint is don't take any team for granted.
Yeah.
Let's not overlook.
Not in
one
the
team
playoff
this week.
situation.
Not even in the regular
never,
season.
never,
I mean,
never. So,
especially get us out of that rut that we discussed before. I mean, just not go show up and think we're going to win. This team is a total different team than we played week 1.
have you guys looked at film or maybe watched the game from the NFC? So you're the AFC, the NFC teams, the Lions,
Well, we're
East Orange Wreck.
our big, actually to us, a lot of people say the Warriors and Wildcats are a big rivalry. To us, one of the teams that we play all the time is the Lions.
Yep.
And we've had some battles with Ernie and Number One and all those dudes. So to us, that's always a team that scares us. And we remember playing Bub when they were 3 East and stuff with Jazz and all them. And I mean, other than that, I played with the Hawkeyes last year, so I played like teams like the Bankers.
Well, this season, did you
Yeah.
look at? Have you seen?
Yeah,
any
no,
of the games?
I saw the Bankers, one of the Bankers teams, you know, they got a good fast quarterback. But to me, good fast quarterbacks don't work against us because we got good fast
You're just as
linebackers.
fast. Right.
So that's it.
Right.
I personally couldn't tell you anything about the NFC at all.
I know Luigi's
Yeah, I
busy
don't-
those days.
I'm busy those days. No,
Can't
in all
watch
honesty, we have enough to worry about in our division. And let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's
Right.
get there.
No, I'm just asking your opinion on some of the other teams because the other teams have talked about you.
Yeah.
But and again, here we go. They don't care. They don't
Well,
care.
you know what, I think, you know, again, as we close this up, you guys are different from other teams, especially, you know, Warriors and the Express, where they were saying, hey, we're not afraid of anybody.
Mhm.
You guys are saying be weary of everybody, but here's one thing, they're all weary of you, because you are the team that does fly under the radar, and despite that, they know you're there.
Yeah.
They know who you are, they know the players that are on your team, and they know how dangerous you guys can be in any kind of situation. So you're not as under the radar, I think,
We want as
people
much as
don't give you credit.
as much as everybody says, you know, that's fine. We're not afraid of anybody. We're not afraid of anybody either.
No.
But the thing is, just like everybody else, we want it. We want the Warriors to win. We want the Warheads to win. One of those two teams. We want the Express to win. You know, when I was talking to Hollywood, he said to me, you know, you're probably wishing that we lose. I said, dude, I want you guys to win because we want to play you guys. We want to play the best teams to go to the championship because to us, our championship is going to be that conference championship. Because once we get in there, sorry, Bub or Bankers or anybody else or Lions, we personally think that we can beat any of them.
And it validates a win more if you're taking out the top teams
Yeah,
to get
absolutely. That's what we want to do.
Now I'm going to ask you guys to do us a favor. We're going to want you to help us talk about our sponsors. But before we do that, I've got one good Luigi story that I have to tell, and he'll remember it.
We got time for it, Joe?
We got
Story time with Joey B is
No, it's a
sponsored by
short
SSP.
story. You guys know that I rep in this league, okay?
No, not
Yeah.
you.
And I've done your games.
Yes.
Wait, I'm gonna edit that out, Matt. Remember, I can take that right out. But here's the Luigi story that I like, and no kidding aside, I like this guy a lot. He's a nice, straight shooting guy. Always asks how family is, how's everything going. I was doing a game with the Slugs with them last
I
year.
knew he was going to go there.
And I made a call, and the entire Slug sideline, led by Luigi, that's the wrong call! That call's not right! We have to look that up! I said, we'll look it up at halftime, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It turned out to be the right call. No shock to anybody. But Luigi was the only guy that came up to me from the Banana Slugs and said, Joe, I'm sorry, you were right, that was the right call. So, I mean, that's a good Luigi story. That's a good
I knew you were
Luigi
going
story.
there, but
But I asked you guys something. You guys like Italian food?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Italian food.
Naturally, a bunch of Italians. I
Yes.
took you guys for Irishmen.
Yeah.
Now my ties are gonna be slashed when I go outside. If they're really Italians. Anybody ever spent some time down in Morristown area, down around there?
yeah, but
Everyone? Well, listen, I got a great reason for you to go. Tony's Pizzeria, right on Speedwell Avenue in Morristown. Man, I tell you, Louis, you like veal parmesan?
of course.
Matt, you like pasta?
Sure.
Jim, you're a pizza guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys gotta get down there and try this stuff. It's absolutely outrageous.
I love it all, Joe.
Mario, there's the proof right here. Hey, look at it. That's why he's sitting 4 feet away from the desk, ladies and gentlemen. He's so far back. And you guys golfers?
Yes.
You golf?
Absolutely.
You golfers?
Wow.
Tell you what, how would you like?
But I golf.
But, okay,
I'm a hacker.
listen, I'm gonna invite you guys down to play around with me at the Meadows Golf Club in Lincoln Park, okay? We're gonna play for $20 a round plus a cart. Can we do better than that?
Yeah.
At any golf course? At any golf course?
No.
No.
Can I tell Dennis, the manager, that we're gonna be down there?
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right, we'll get a day, we'll go down, we'll take Hollywood down there and make fun of him on it.
Nah, with those big arms, he can't be swinging well. Freaking.
He'll hit the ball all of 30 yards.
No way. Yeah.
He'll drop the
Ground
He'll
balls.
trap the cart, yeah,
Ground
and he'll get lost too. Guys, I want to thank you for coming down tonight, I really appreciate it. It was a chance to have some people meet the Wildcats, meet the team that is 5-2, hopefully soon to be 6-2,
And no longer flying under the
and
radar.
no longer fight deep run in the playoffs.
We'll take it.
You guys have a nice team. You got a mixture of power and speed, power and finesse, which is always a good mix.
You mean speed, strength, and performance?
Speed, strength, and performance. We're going to get to that later on
So we
too.
are, that's right.
But again, thanks for coming down, Luigi, my buddy.
Pleasure.
Always a
Thanks
pleasure,
for having
Matt.
us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jimmy, thank you.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody. See ya on this week as the hands are going by. This week in the NFL next week. Our game of the week next week will be
NFL or ACFL?
ACFL. What did I say?
You said NFL.
Those are my
What's the
aspirations.
next step?
Game of the week this Sunday. The All-Stars and the AST should be a good one.
Sweet game.
We'll probably have highlights of your game
Good.
and have some highlights possibly of East Orange Rec too, or
Oh, they got the off week.
they're off this week. So who else is on that field?
Just like TD Bob this
There's another game on that field that we might want to get some
I think
highlights.
the All-Star 6-on-6 games there as well. I'm not sure what.
Are they
No, after it is the Canes game because I know. Ant
Oh, that's
told me
right.
He has a game before our game.
Right, so the
So
Canes
I think
game,
it's
always a treat to see how they're going. And again, guys, good luck this Sunday. Again, good night, everybody.